Let's talk about your cutaway, green screen, picture-in-picture, split screen, all those options. That's something everyone really likes. I'm going to delete everything in my timeline. All right, so you can layer audio. You can also layer footage. To do any sort of green screen type of thing, we're going to drag in what we want to be our bottom layer. So in the case of this footage, I have this image I found online of a nice fireplace Christmas mantle with a fire burning. And I'm going to drag this down into my timeline. So this is my bottom layer. And now I need to put in my top layer, which is going to be this clip here of the two girls. Okay, so you'll notice they're sitting on a green table. They have a green screen behind them. The reason for this is because I actually want to put them on the mantle up here. So I'm going to drag this clip in, put it over the footage of my tree. Now, nothing's happened yet, okay? There's nothing that's disappeared, but what did happen is now there's another option above my viewer window, okay? It's this little rectangle with a dotted line underneath it. If I click it, I now have all of these different options, okay? So there's something called a cutaway, and all a cutaway is, it's the equivalent of if I was to make cuts in my footage underneath and move this green screen footage underneath it, okay, like so, and it goes from one clip to another. That's all a cutaway is, okay? It's just another way of sort of making an edit instead of making cuts on the bottom clip. I also have the option of a split screen, right? So you'll notice they're split. So I'm seeing on one side my green screen footage, the other side my background. I can change the position, so I can swap them. I can make it top or bottom, okay? And I can also add a slide, so it actually slides in. Woo, fun, okay. I can do picture-in-picture, which makes it so that way my top image is this little like picture-in-picture. I can move around. I can make it bigger or smaller, okay? I can add in an effect for how it sort of comes in. So now it's zooming in. I can swap them. I can add a border to my little picture-in-picture and change the color. I can add a shadow, yada, yada, yada. But what I want to show you is the green-blue screen. So I'm going to click this button right here. And voila, you'll notice anywhere there was green, there is now my underneath picture, okay? That's how a green screen works. The computer will automatically detect for that green or blue, take out that background. The reason we use green or blue is because those two colors are not found naturally in nature or in skin tones. They're easier colors to avoid. All right, you just have to make sure students aren't wearing that color green in order for this to work. Now you'll notice I still see the background of the video classroom, because if we go back to the original green screen, the green isn't taking up the whole background, right? You can still see the video background, so that's not going to come out. But I can use my cleanup button and actually drag around the background. Voila. Okay, you'll notice I can see the wrinkles of the green screen, so you do want to be careful about that. I can also play with the softness. Now, the bad thing about iMovie, when I filmed this footage, it was meant to edit in Final Cut, which allows a lot more freedom than iMovie does. I cannot take these two characters, shrink them, and move them to the mantle like I can with software like Final Cut, which is just a more advanced software. So when you are filming your green screen footage, have your background handy and make sure that you're framing or placing your characters, your actors in the frame where you want them to appear. Okay, so I would have needed to film these two characters by backing away from them a lot so they were much smaller, and lowering my camera so they appeared higher in the frame so they would appear more over the mantle than they actually do here. So right now they're just sort of floating in the air. But that's how you do green screen. It's really easy, and it's just a click of a button. The important thing to know when filming your green screen footage is to make sure it's steady. Usually the image you're using underneath is going to be a photo or something you downloaded online, which is going to be steady. So if the footage on top is really shaky, it's going to be much, much more noticeable. So I took this sample footage that wasn't using a tripod, it was just handheld. All right, so you can see there's like a nice little camera shake going on. And I'm going to hit my overlay options and hit green and blue screen. Okay, so watch what's going to happen here. The background's staying perfectly still, but I'm shaking all over the place, which makes it not really look all that believable. All right, so please make sure that you were using a tripod or just some sort of stabilizing device for your camera.